Hey, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is June 3rd, 2023. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, if you haven't yet, please check me out on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post things all week long, share with everybody. And if you like my content a lot, I do have a subscriber group on Twitter. It costs $10 a month, but I give you a ton of content, educational videos. I do special stocks to watch video where we go over a full review of what I'm seeing in the market. Nightly scans. I do market notes on Sunday and Thursday. I do a midweek video for my super follow group on Tuesdays. I take chart requests from them, and we discuss different things that they're looking at, within their own portfolios. Again, I do nightly scans for them to idea generation. I think there's a ton of value that I offer for a very small amount of money per month. And if this interests you, it's $10. Cancel anytime if you don't like it. But I think that it's definitely again, I try to provide a lot of value for a very small amount of money because I believe that you're going to be your trade. It's going to be your decision to buy or sell. But if I can help you get into the right names with my stated goal of keeping you on the right side of the market in the best names possible, and when it's time to get cautious, we stay cautious, and when it's time to not be cautious, we go ahead and we push on the gas some. I think that is a huge benefit, especially for the person who may be working full time and can't watch the market as much as the next person, right? So you could be involved, engaged in very small amount of time where I do the work for you. So if you're interested, again, at Alpha Charts 365, click on the subscribe button and do the rest. Thank you. All right, so let's get going. S&P this week, Friday, we had the debt ceiling resolution. Nice strong day, up 1.45 on higher volume. I mean, completely different situation than what we saw on Wednesday, which was a very high volume down day. So that was really nice to see. We cleared this level with authority, which is what you want to see. Even though you have a flat 200-day here, it should start to move up, because when we look at what we go back 200 days is, basically right here, this peak right here, right? So as we get rid of this data and we replace it hopefully with this data, this 200-day will start to move higher. And that's a good thing, right? We want to see a rising 200-day, because right now it's just a flat 200-day. But everything looks great. Obviously, the next level will be this, 43, 25-ish area. But nothing to be worried about. I was a little worried last week that we couldn't clear some of this area, but we cleared it. So that definitely makes me more positive on the market, more bullish on the market. On the week, up almost 2%, 1.83%. That's a beautiful thing. Volume was a little light, but remember, it was a holiday week, right? Holiday shortened week. There was no trading on Monday, so that's not bad at all. Now let's look at the RSP. So that was 1.83. RSP was up 1.87. So it kept pace, which is really nice to see. And when we look at this, it's still in a range, RSP is, but it's now back above all of its moving averages and just sliced right through them all on big time volume. This shows that there is some force behind the move. I really like the looks of this, even though, it's not the most beautiful looking chart. This Friday makes me much, much more excited. Looking at the equal weight versus cap weighted, and that's what I like to see, right? We want to see where the equal weighted had some oomph, and there it had some oomph. We'll see if it continues. Now, again, one day does not make a trend, so don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. But this is a nice start to, I think, the market, solidifying what could have been the bottom, right? I really do like that. All right. So that looks good. Looking at the Qs, let's look at the Qs here. And you see that they just continue higher, very strong trend developing in the Qs. They were up 0.75 on Friday. Again, volume was a little light there, huh? But it is what it is. They were up 1.79, so almost the same as S&P. Okay. You see all the moving averages are looking pretty good. Equal weights were up 1.35, but they did clear a very important spot, $74. We'll go back to the daily, and you can see they cleared $74. I think that's a big, big deal. As long as it's above $74, I think that we can have, I think this rally's got some legs to it. I think that's really nice. And let's look at the equal weights versus the cap weighted, because I do like that chart as well. And okay, it's a start, right? It's a start, something. We'll take it. Again, still in this downtrend, but at least we saw a little bit of, the equal weight trying to come up. We'll see if it continues. The big story, I think, was IWM. So IWM just was a monster on Friday. So this is the big story right there. Look at that volume. This is people saying risk on, right? That's a risk on indicator. On the week, we had up 3.33%, super strong week. Just looking, above, cleared all of its moving averages. It may have some more work to do. I'm not saying it's going straight up, but that's a nice looking candle right there. And a good end to the week. Now, if we fall, let's say it turns right back in and goes right below, this greenish area, below the 200-day, well, then it's a nothing burger, right? But right now, that's not what we have. We have things starting to shape up. And if it can build this out, held the right levels, that looks pretty good. Mid caps, let's round this out. Mid caps look fantastic as well. Strong day, 3.23%. Same idea. Held this trend line, which we were kind of watching. For the most part, we could have adjusted the trend line just a little bit if we needed to, right? There you go. Held the trend line. So nothing broke down. Everything went well. So the indexes showed a lot of healing in a holiday shortened week, whether we want to call it the debt crisis or I don't know, was it a crisis? It was never a crisis. The debt ceiling issue, which we knew, if you listen to me, was going to get resolved. I thought they did it well in advance of when they needed to, which is fine. Usually there's more drama around these things. But it was very well choreographed and it went through and the market reacted very positively to it. And we'll take it, right? Until we see something different. So the indexes, to me, looks very good, very healed. And just IWO, let's just look at that one. Yeah, up 3% as well. Again, into, potential areas of resistance, but it was a big move. I'm okay with a little backing and filling. That's totally normal and legitimate price action. And I love how each one of these lows was a higher low, right? On IWO. That's nice. All right. So indexes look good. Let's look at some individual sectors. XLF. So XLF has held where it had to. And right now, everything is looking okay. Went up 2% on the day and 2% on the week. So really the weekly gains were all gained on Friday. Still below the 200-day, which is now starting to decline. So that's not out of the woods yet, but it did clear all the other moving averages and is back above them, right? This was a very not so good look right there. This is a better look. Is it the best look? Well, no, it's still below the declining 200-day moving average, flat to declining, but this is progress. We'll take what we can get. Not terrible. Looking at SMH. So SMH was down on Friday. So the whole market was up. SMH was down on lower volume, but it had gotten so far. It led the market. And that was actually one of the positives, if you remember, that we were talking about. So on the week, it was down 0.83, but the week prior was up 10% and 8% the week prior to that. So this was the backing and filling that needs to happen, right, in a healthy market. And let's look at the equal weighted XSD. Again, same idea, right? It got to a certain point, got kind of extended, and it just needs to take a little rest, flag out, whatever, consolidate. You see, it was down 0.52, so a little bit less than SMH was on the equal weighted, but everything is that's a very positive thing, right? You don't want something that's going to get too far ahead of itself. So it's a great look to it. Semiconductors definitely participating. XLF looking better. Transports. Let's look at transports. Clearing all the moving average, right? This is a lot of like, oof, garbage. This is not garbage, right? Up almost 3%. That's that's a positive. We got to be positive on that. Home builders, again, strong. Still has to clear this level, but very 4% move, man. That's strong move on good volume. So that looks really good. Again, so XHB, it's the combined home builders and home people that supply home builders. ITB is the pure construction play. It also was positive. Had this like cup and handle look to it on the larger time frame. We go to weekly, you'll see the cup and handle pretty easily there. And it came back, kind of retested, and so far it held. So the home builders may have some legs, right? That's what we know. And so the sectors, again, in the week, they really took, a turn for the better. There's nothing else we can really discern from those four sectors. So that's fantastic. Let's look at the internals. Start with the VIX. So the VIX was low and VIX got even lower. That can happen. We know that can happen in really good bull markets, right? In really good bull markets. This was pre-COVID, really good bull markets. We saw VIX down in the, 11, right? 10s, 9s. Like, I don't know if we're going to get back there or not, but and we stood down there. We stayed down there. Like ridiculous. And this was like such a flat market, but it just trended higher. So that was fantastic. And maybe, we're coming to a market like that. I don't know. I mean, contrarian says that we get rebounds, right? When it gets too low, we get rebounds, too low rebounds, but it can stay low for a period of time. And maybe that's what we're going to see. So is it kind of extreme-ish? Yes. But can it stay extreme in a good market? Yes, it can, right? I think we get better signals up here. These are better signals than the ones down here because you see how much these hit, right? So again, not a terrible thing. Let's look at credit spreads because did they tighten or do they widen? And as expected, they should have fallen, and they did. Again, they're still in a range. They haven't quite gotten out of this range yet. So again, maybe this doesn't happen, right? No one says it has to, even though precedent says it has in the past. Maybe it's just not the right time for it. I don't know. So that's why we put the question mark, right? We don't know. But right now it's not happening, and maybe it just needs more consolidation sideways, or maybe it just doesn't happen at all. But we definitely had a tightening of credit spreads, which is a positive for the market. Period. End of story. Put call ratio. Still not at extreme, so not much to talk about there. And let's look at MMFI breadth. And you see breadth now is above 50% on the percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average. And again, a nice improvement in breadth, right? That's what we're looking for. Improvement in breadth. We had seen it slowly, and then we saw it now quickly above the 50-day moving average. So that looks really good as well. What else? Let's look at the dollar. What did the dollar do? Dollar is back at 104, which is, again, in this 104-ish range, it's fine. I think above 104, and we start to get a little dicey, right? But right now, it's not doing anything wrong. So we're fine, and the market's not reacting to it. I guess maybe that's probably the more important thing is that the dollar is where it's at, but the market isn't really reacting in a negative way to that. So I love that idea. And let's look at the copper gold ratio, right? Here's the copper gold ratio. And so we're still below this green line, but we're trying, it looks like it's trying to get back above it. We'll see. If it can get back above it, huge positive. We can see when things get back above the copper gold ratio, this area right here, this green area I drew in here, good things happen. When we below it, sometimes questionable things happen, right? So it's trying to get back above it. We'll see what happens next week. If it can get back above it, I think that's a very big positive in the market as well. And anything else I want to go over today? I think that's about it. Again, everything very positive. I think way different than last week where there was a ton of questions in the market. I think that this is a time that we can maybe make some money. And that's the important thing, right? So good luck this week. Hope this video helped you. If you're interested in the super follow group, please check me out on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. Go ahead and click on my profile, click on the subscribe, and let me know what you think. Okay. Take care, guys. Have a great day.